Very good morning from a very hot day in West Lafayette, Indiana. So I asked you guys on Instagram about the things that you want to learn on this video. So most of you guys choose the technical one. So some of you guys are not. Some of you are interested on the Lightroom edits on how to sharpen a photo. But today we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how to achieve a critical focus on your camera. And I got a chance to shoot my friend Rebecca. I think you guys already know her from the work that I did in Colombia. So I think I shoot her like last week, maybe like 5 days or 3 days ago. And now that you know the stuff that we're doing and who's Rebecca, I'm going to show you some of the photos that we shoot. Alright, let's jump in. So this is usually the type of sharpness that you always want to achieve when you take a photo. I know that it is slightly underexposed, but this is not an example of autofocus. This is an example of actually a camera shake. So when I teach this method, I hope that you guys already know what is, the right exposure and the right shutter speed when you're taking the photo of your subject. So the only thing that you're concerned right now is how to get a sharp focus. This is another photo shot with a different lens. This is a 70-200 at 200mm lens. It is, let me see, good focus. Yeah, it is slightly out of focus because I think the focus is actually on her eyelashes but not on her eyes. This is shot with the 105 bokeh master. Look at that. Oh my god, look at it. It's so creepy. But we don't care about the bokeh, right guys? All we care about is the focus. Is it in focus? It is slightly out of focus, but from far they look in focus. This is shot with the 85-1.4. So this is the one that I think is out of focus. This is the sample that I want to show you guys. How does a photo look when it is out of focus? So I think now the camera is focusing on the eyelashes instead of the eyes. You can see how blurry this line is right here. Now let's jump into the technical part. Alright, before we jump to that, here's some fact that I would like to share to you. So I know now modern camera have a very good autofocus system, but here's the thing, the autofocus does not work all the time, and some lenses have some errors in it, and that's why some camera allow you to fine-tune the autofocus by doing some corrections from inside the camera, so that whenever you attach the lens, they already apply this correction, and that's how you achieve a great focus. But here I'm going to teach you a method that I use, especially when you're shooting still subjects, like for example like this cup, if it's still on a table, or a model. If the model is not spinning or jumping around, then I would consider her a still subject. Sorry about that. So I'm gonna use my D850 with the 85-1.8 lens. This is not the 850, this is the D810. Sorry guys, I've been waiting for the D850. Still out of stock. Nikon, what are you doing? Sleeping probably. Okay, let's pretend I'm going to shoot this. Can you see it back there? Like there's a orange back. Let's pretend that is my still subject or the face of my model, okay? This method is a little bit old school, and at the same time it can be applied to anything, like any cameras. Let me focus my D800 pretty quick. Okay, there's two ways. So the first way, you can just manually focus through the viewfinder, and if your viewfinder coverage is so small, then you, in some camera models like the D800, the D500, D810, the D850, the D700 have like a circular eyepiece where you can purchase, which magnifies whatever inside the pentasprism. So now when I attach this, I can see a very large coverage, whatever being reflected on the mirror inside the camera. And in Sony, I don't know, in the mirrorless system, I don't know how it works, but I'm going to teach you the one that will work for anything. So let's just use the live view this time. So let's pretend that is my subject now. And assuming that you know the rules about shutter speed and everything, that you know it is on a good shutter speed with a good aperture, then you're good. I mean, now the only problem you're facing is just focus. So now to manual focus, the first thing you need to do is turn off the focus. You can either do it on the body, switch to manual, or on the lens, switch to manual. I mean, either way it works. Now when you manual focus, try to be slowly and put the subject in focus. And to be a very critical focus, what you can do is you can zoom in by pressing the zoom in button to the subject, and check the focus critically, whether it's in focus or out of focus. You can zoom in even more, and then once you get what you want to achieve, like, yeah, it's a little bit shaky because now it's so zoomed in, then you can take the photo. But of course I'm not gonna take the photo because I don't have a memory card inside of it, but you already know that this is in focus. So that's why it's kind of critical that the subject and the camera is not moving when you already achieve the focus. So some camera allow you to put a shortcut, like I always use this shortcut. When I press OK, it zooms in and I can check whether it is critically focused or not before I take the shot, and I just press the shutter button to take a shot. So that is one of the slowest old school method, I would say, to achieve focus. Oh, give me a second. To achieve focus, yeah, to achieve focus on like digital cameras. This will definitely not work with a film camera, obviously, because you don't have a screen on the back. I mean, I don't know, maybe there's, I don't know, and I don't care. Okay, so now that I already teach you that method, this is actually very essential if you're trying to collect manual focus lenses, because in the end you have to manual focus, and the only way to achieve a very critical focus with a manual focus lens, other than using a viewfinder and hoping that you got a very sharp eye, you can use this method. And of course, it's a little bit slow. It will not be the most efficient method there in the world, but it works for me, so why not you give it a try? So tell me if you give it a try, and peace out guys. Enjoy your weekend.